How's everybody doing? Going live and direct on the Life channel, Life at Mind Fact Check, where we talk about life insurance policy, right type of policies, why you should get certain policies, you need certain policies, the best policies, the best. Yes, that's what we love talking about. And again, I'm hitting IULs again, right? I have to just talk about IULs because I think there's just such a underrepresented, not understood as much type of a product. Because you got to think about it. From whole life, that's where the IUL, the Index Universal Life, came out of that idea and started using aspects of the market to build a cash pot, right? Where you can participate in the market, in the stock market, but not be buying shares, right? And it not be as risky as 401ks that have, a limited amount of participation, a limited amount of interest, usually around 4%. And if you tap into a 401k before you're the right age, then you're definitely going to have to pay a fee and you're going to have to pay taxes when you access the 401k before it's your time to access it. Like if you're not 55, I believe it is, or 65, or 60, retirement age, 62, 65, whatever, something like that. Retirement age. If you go into this before that, you'll be paying a penalty and you'll be paying taxes. So let's talk concept, right? The reason why I got on here is because I want to talk concept and reevaluate your financial picture by understanding the concept of money and interest, right? The average person, I believe, does not believe that they can turn interest in their own favor. Because most of the time, people are battling interest, right? You're battling against your mortgage interest rate. You're battling against your credit card interest rate. You're battling against your car payment, which has an interest rate. Every time you buy something, even groceries, right? Now, what you see with Trump with the tariffs, right? There's taxes and fees placed on products and services that you eat as the consumer. A lot of times the consumer eats these products and these fees and charges and taxes, right, in order for you to obtain the product or the service that you need. So how do you get on the winning side, right? The winning side, I say, is when you have money working for you, right, where your money is building and growing interest for you, where you've got your money somewhere where, it's going to gain, 8 to 9 to 10% interest, in a year's time on the money that's sitting there, whereas the interest is in your favor, right? The more you put in there, the more interest that you earn, right? That's the concept, right? How to flip. Well, first of all, you need to know where to put your money in order to have that happen, right? You have to know where to put it in order for you to even know how that's going to work or how that's going to happen. Hey, how you doing? For Misty, how's it going to everybody that joined the chat? I'm on live, so everybody that's saying hi, hey, what's up? How you doing? Yeah, I'm in the States, so this is stateside information. My life insurance license is in United States, so I'm in Virginia, Texas, Maryland, Georgia, Arizona, Delaware. So I can help people in if you're not in those states, I can just contact me anyway because I got people in my group that are in other states. But the point is, you need to talk to us to get a policy like this, a life insurance IUL policy, a universal life IUL policy. Because this policy, again, so I was stuck on the cash part, right? I was just trying to explain the concept of the cash part. There's a lot of people that goes over people's heads. They just totally don't even think about that. And this is something that you can access while you're young, right? Because the younger you get it, the it's for 12 to 15 years is when you need to let something sit like this type of policy sit, so your surrender charges you don't have to pay. Surrender charges is what insurance companies charge you when you go into that cash pot early. And the time limit is usually, I say, well, between 12, 13, 14, 15 years. 12 to 15 years, let that money, depending on the program you're in. I have a program that I get my people in where the limit is year 12. So year 13, they can start borrowing that money. They can turn around and borrow and do a policy loan, obviously, right? Where you're not paying taxes because you just did a loan on your own money. You loan your own money to yourself, and you turn around and did that on year 13, where you're able to do so. So that's why I say the younger you get these policies, which you can get these policies for your children. You can get these policies when you're in high school. All you need is to tell your parent to talk to somebody like myself who can set up the person that's going to be the insured on a policy like this. Because the person that is the payer doesn't necessarily have to be the one that's insured, the one that's paying the premium, right? I.e., grandmother, aunt, adult, somebody with a job, caregiver. They are the ones responsible for the activation of the plan that will cover the grandchild or the son or whoever, that they're the younger person, right? So that's another thing that's awesome. So then when that younger person gets of age, then they can start paying their own premium and take over the policy, and hopefully by then understand the policy because somebody's explained the policy to them. And then, yeah, they could have a nice little cash reserve that interest built, right? The house that interest built, because you're making your premium payment. It could be $50 a month, $100 a month for the cost of the death benefit. All right, so let me not confuse people, right? Because I went in on the cash part, but I want to hit all three elements of why IUL is one of the dopest policies that you could get for anybody, yourself or anyone, that combats poverty in the United States, combats not knowing what you're going to retire on, combats a lot of things. What's going to happen to you when you pass? Passing a legacy on in terms of financial legacy to your children, right? That will take care of your bills that's left over, and pass money to your family members so they can have something and not be building from scratch. So there's three components. The cash pot, which is what I just kind of went into indirectly, was the cash that you build over time that you can do policy loans on. Then you have the death benefit, which is basically a lump sum that will cover funeral costs or whatever that it needs to cover but it's triggered by somebody dying, so somebody would have to pass, but that's a part of life insurances. That's one of the main components, is having a death benefit, so that lump sum money that whoever created the policy selects or decides that they want, can use that. Their children or their wife or beneficiary, right? Their family member, their close loved ones, can take that money because they'll be listed as what? The beneficiary of that money. They can take that money and then pay bills, pay their funeral costs, of course, and then after that's over with, they can keep it, put it in their bank account, tax free, pay bills, do whatever they got to do. Money's passed on to your family, right? So that's another way that you enrich your family, and you build legacy for your family, and all those kinds of good things, right? And then you have riders. So you have riders that you can tap into. Riders are add-ons that allow you to access the money sooner, right? So riders are things like, so like say you have a surgery and or something in it, or you have a cancer treatment or something like that, right? And you obviously how those kind of bills can be costly. Cancer treatments, hospital stays, long-term care stays, hospital stays, all that kind of stuff. Well, you can use that death benefit, right, on your life insurance to tap into that money, convert that money or a certain percentage of it based on the company to be able to pay those costs associated to that. So those are living benefits that you can still. Yes, you would have. It would have to be triggered by an event like a sickness or a surgery or something detrimental, but that's what life insurance is to cover those out of the way health, death, anything unusual instances. You're covered financially to a certain amount of money, right? Um, with the living benefit, where you can tap into certain things before you die, like that cash pot that I was talking about. You can tap into that before you die, right after the 12 to 15 years. You can tap into that and do policy loans, right? Hello, hello, hello. Man, I'm glad some people are getting on here, and I mean, some of the stuff people are talking about doesn't fit what it is I'm talking about. Yeah, that's always the case when you get on the internet. But yeah, um, but anyway, the concept is what it's all about, and that's what we help insurance policies. And those are the three reasons why IULs are the best policy. Because a regular term policy, which does not have a cash build on it, really, unless you get something where like your money with a term is usually 10, 20, 30 years. You're just paying a straight certain allotment, a certain amount of money for like whatever amount of money, cost of insurance that you decided, whatever insurance amount allotment, death benefit amount allotment you decide, 100,000, 200,000, whatever, 50,000, and so um, but that's it. Once you pay that money, it's gone. You can't get it back. If you never used the insurance policy, it's just gone out the door. So that's why I like IULs, because at least you can do policy loans on it and things of that sort. So anyway, if you want to follow me more, go to my page on Facebook, the Mind Fact Tech Group on Facebook. Join me. Ask for a consultation. Get with our team. Let us help you out and set you up for these kind of policies so you can have a look at it. A properly structured IUL on top of that is what you're looking for, and that's what we can help you get. And it's uh, average finances, and also think future, right? Because that's what you should be doing too with your finances. So just wanted to get on here and say hi. Like I said, follow me here, follow me, share, follow me, share. And I'll be doing more lives now that I know I can do live. So yeah, live and direct. Mind Fact Tech Group here to help you. Holla at us.